Good morning. Welcome to the Western New England Law Review's 2023 Symposium, The Color of Law, the Intersection of Race and the Law. My name is Andrew Loin, and I'm the editor-in-chief of the Western New England Law Review, Volume 46. On behalf of the faculty committee and the board of editors, I welcome those attending online and those attending here in person in Springfield. Today, our day will be filled with a discussion of the intersection between race and substantive areas of law in our organizations and legal structures here in the United States. We look forward to spirited discussions regarding how racism affects zoning and property regulation, criminal justice, child welfare, disability, and immigration laws. With that said, it is my honor and privilege to introduce our new dean here at Western New England University School of Law, Dean Zelda Harris. Professor Harris began her term as Dean of Western New England School of Law on August 1st, 2023. Prior to joining WNE Law, Dean Harris served as director of the Dan K. Webb Center for Advocacy at Loyola University of Chicago School of Law from 2012 to 2023. Professor Harris provided leadership in all aspects of the school's advocacy programs, including curriculum development, program growth, and alumni relations. In addition to her administrative duties, Professor Harris taught courses in trial advocacy, evidence, and domestic violence law. Professor Harris's research and service interests focus on the efficacy of the legal system in addressing gender-based violence. Professor Harris served a one-year term as interim dean of Loyola School of Law from July 15th through July 15th, 2022. Prior to her appointment as interim dean, Harris served as associate dean of academic affairs from 2018 to 2021. In addition, Professor Harris's previous faculty appointments include the James E. Rogers College of Law at the University of Arizona, and director of the Domestic Violence Law Clinic and co-director of the Child Family Law Clinic. She also previously served as a senior instructor and staff attorney for the Child and Family Justice Center at Northwestern University School of Law. Dean Harris began her legal career as a staff attorney for the Land of Lincoln Legal Assistance Foundation, Inc. in Alton, Illinois. Professor Harris has extensive trial experience in domestic violence, family, and juvenile court proceedings. Professor Harris serves as a faculty member for the National Institute of Trial Advocacy, where she provides advocacy training and leadership for young attorneys nationally and internationally. Dean Harris is a graduate of Washington University School of Law in St. Louis, Missouri, and she received her undergraduate degree from Syracuse University. She's married to Jonathan Peck, and they are proud parents of two children, Jonathan and Wellesley. So welcome, Dean Harris.
All right, thank you so much, Andrew. I must be a lot older than I feel with that recitation of things. Before we get started, I just would ask for a moment of silence, given what we are all experiencing here and abroad. So, this symposium is quite timely. As you may have read in the New York Times this morning, one of the police officers in Colorado was convicted for the unlawful killing of Elijah McClain. When I started my law practice over 30 years ago, I can say that bringing law enforcement into a court of law to be judged was pretty unheard of. So change is inevitable, but also incremental. And one of the things that forces change in a system of inequity and injustice are students, researchers, faculty, advocates, and others who are always in search of justice. And so this symposium that seeks to interrogate systems of oppression is very timely and what we need at this moment. So I want to extend my thanks to the executive board members of the Western New England University School of Law Law Review for organizing this symposium. In particular, thank you, Andrew, for inviting me to provide opening remarks. I want to thank the faculty of WNE Law and, of course, all of the panelists, students, presenters, advocates, and community members who are joining us here today. Issues of racial disparity, injustice, and oppression continue to permeate our legal system, and its effects are felt by all of us, especially those of us from minoritized and racialized communities, or those of us from less privileged backgrounds, especially women and children. Today's symposium will interrogate how the law has been used as a tool to further this inequity and deepen the divides along racial lines. And we know that we are probably more divided than ever in this country, which is so sad to say. I think I have the privilege of age and the privilege to look back to see what has happened in this country. I'm hopeful, believe it or not, but I think we have to understand that when a system and a culture is in flux and is about to make the next leap forward, there's going to be pain involved in that process, right? And so that's where we are right now. We're in a very challenging and painful pivot point. But I have hope that the next stage that we get to, that you all, and I'm looking at a lot of students right now, will be the benefactors of a more just and a more equitable society. So today we will hear from experts and scholars on housing, education, criminal justice, disability rights, children's welfare, and immigration. And right here at this law school, Western New England University School of Law, our students and faculty gain firsthand experience in all of these areas. We have rededicated ourselves to addressing racial injustice within our community and within larger society. We have dedicated ourselves to public service and pro bono service, both as a requirement for our students to graduate, but also as a requirement for the faculty. And so we actualize our intentions by doing the work. We do the work representing clients in our clinics and in our externships. We have pro bono projects and our research. We have our Center for Social Justice, where many of you complete your pro bono service hours, helping folks to clear their criminal records so that they can gain employment, access to housing, access to those resources that will help them build a greater future for their families. We have our Consumer Debt Initiative that again helps clear a path for success for so many families that are struggling and laboring under unfair debt collection practices. We have our DEI Lunch and Learn series, our Clayson Lecture series, our Color of Law programming, and so much more that we are a part of in this community. I'm so proud to be with you and to be a part of the rich tradition of service and addressing racial inequity at this law school. So it is now my deep pleasure to introduce to you the first presenter. Dr. Richard Rothstein is someone actually that I know personally. We met several years ago when I began a professional identity formation course at Loyola Law School. And his book, The Color of Law, was foundational to that program. And it's been probably a book that many law schools and other educational institutions have used over the years to really understand in a very clear way how the law has been used as a tool of racialized oppression and segregation in this country. And he makes the case with expert examples of clarity. He is the author of The Color of Law, A Forgotten History of How Government Segregated America, and the co-author with Leah Rothstein of Just Action, How to Challenge Segregation Enacted Under the Color of Law. He is a distinguished fellow of the Economic Policy Institute and a senior fellow emeritus of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Let's now hear from Richard Rothstein.